Hi, everybody. Philosophical here. I just want to touch a subject that's been bothering me, and the more people that I come in contact with, I'm realizing that there's more people who have gone through this. So maybe I can help somebody with this. Narcissistic parents triangulating their children and turning them against each other and pretty much going to whatever one has more benefit. Um, Narcissistic parents, if you're an empath, you were born into a family full of narcissists. And the reason for that, if you don't know, is to learn lessons. The narcissist actually is probably the one who woke you up from your sleep and when you had your awakening. Sometimes it's a family member, sometimes it's a friend or a boss, a coworker, a boyfriend, girlfriend, but a narcissist no doubt woke you up. And when you have parents who are narcissists, they love money. That's all they care about. They don't really care about much. They love material things, and most empaths don't care so much for that kind of stuff. We'd rather see something like genuine in somebody, like somebody that's trustworthy and has conversations of substance. You can't really have a conversation with a narcissist that goes deep, if you've realized this. If not, you will. You will. But my mother did this to me. I was a drug addict. A lot of empaths were. And, you become the black sheep, actually, the family, which in turn makes you the scapegoat as well. So it's great for everybody else because they get to deflect all of their flaws onto you and keep their hands clean. Now, the thing is when you remove yourself, or the Most High God removes you from this group, they can't point the finger at you anymore, you see? He will take you away. He will work on you. He will get you all shiny and new and then send you back sometimes as the healer, which is the irony of the whole thing, because the drug addict, the problem, becomes the one who can fix this family because they need it. Believe me, they need it. There's a lot of family secrets, and your parents probably haven't healed their childhood wounds, and it's just ironic what God does in this situation. It's pretty amazing too. Anyway, so while I was getting fingers pointed at me, and some of you may actually resonate with this, for my drug addictions, they forgot that my first pain pill was given to me by my mother, and multiple after that. My father, who I did roofing for multiple years, used to point fingers at me for my addiction, yet asked me if he could pay me with a whole bunch of pills to sell for working because he didn't have the money to pay me. And then after that, asked my boyfriend, who was also a recovering opiate addict, to sell some behind my mother and mine's back. So you see, while they're pointing the fingers at me, they're no better, right? I smoked my first joint with my parents, and I did my first line of methamphetamine with my aunt. Now, all these people love to point fingers at me. They love to point them at Teresa. But now they can't point them at all. You see, when I needed them and I was getting sober, they left me high and dry. I was in a situation with a narcissist friend who woke me up where my life was attempted, and I got myself out of that situation, and I just can't believe how I got out of it. He's going to prison now. I'll get into that story. It's actually on my channel. There's a video about it and his father's death on my channel. You can check that out, about narcissism and death and life insurance and all the crazy things that they do to get money, even if they have to kill their own family member, okay? So, with that being said, I really needed them, I thought. But that was wrong, because I didn't really need them at all, because I got sober and happier without my family in my life. So I go by facts. I don't go by what we're taught growing up and these, whatever these beliefs are when we grow up, that like you have to stick by your family no matter what, and they're the best thing for you. Don't believe that, because for some of us, they were the worst influence in our lives, and they enable us. While they're helping us, they're also stabbing us in the back and talking about us behind our back. Because if everybody knew some of the things that they did, they probably would distance themselves from them as well. But when God removes you from that family dynamic and he works on you, now it's like, who can you point the finger at now? You can't point it at her because now all these things are coming out. Now they can't blame everything on you anymore. You know what I'm saying? So they're forced to look at themselves. And some of them do and some of them don't. You'll rarely get a narcissist who takes accountability for anything. Says they're sorry. The only time you'll really hear they're sorry is if they got caught doing something. But my mother gravitated towards my sister who married someone who had money, and my mother's money hungry. So, of course, she dropped me and didn't care if I was alive or not. For 2 years, I didn't talk to my mother. She didn't even know if I was breathing. And she was out with my sister constantly, going to salons, going away on trips. And so what God does is, this is the karma for the narcissist, the aging narcissist, the ones who just need supply and they need someone to validate them because they can't stand themselves in their own skin. They have all these insecurities. They're weak and they're insecure. My sister now moved out of the country with her family. So he took away that source of supply. It's pretty ironic. I met up with my son last week and he's telling me how my mother's gone crazy, going down the rabbit hole with all this truth and everything I told her a couple years ago that they laughed at me for. That I told them about this world and everything I was learning. They laughed at me and thought that I was on drugs and crazy. Now they see that I'm telling the truth. But that's not why she's going crazy. The narcissist ages first horribly. And when they don't have supply around them, they start to lose their mind. It's like a withdrawal from like drugs. Having supply and people around them to buy them things and for them to gossip to and gossip about people when they really should be working on themselves and pointing a finger at themselves. But that doesn't happen because, like I said, they never do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean I did something wrong? I'm your mother. Everything I taught you was right. I mean, I'm your mother. I'm older. No, that's not how it goes, Mom. That's not how it goes. I'm your father. You taught me how to work hard. Yes, I was a roofer for you for 27 years. You were my provider and you were my boss, but you were never my daddy. I had a lot of fights. I had a lot of problems growing up, but they never sat me down and asked me anything. They bought me things to make up for the things that they felt like they made mistakes for. So everything is about money with these people. Do you understand? There's no love. I have to honestly say, and I'm okay with it, that my parents never really loved me. I wasn't planned. My mother was 9 months pregnant in her wedding pictures. And she reminded me when I was a child a lot by telling me that she wished she didn't have me. And my sister was planned. You can tell by the dynamic between the two of us. It is what it is. I don't feel sorry for myself at all, but it is what it is. And there's people going through this. And there's people who have children who are going to watch this video who also are doing this to your kids. Don't have so many kids that you can't distribute that love evenly because you're going to destroy your kids. And they're going to resent you when they get older. And then you're going to need them for things. And they're going to drop you like you dropped them. Right? So now they're by themselves. Now everybody's going to see their problems. Because they were pointing fingers at me like I was the problem the whole time. I am not the problem. I am the solution for everybody, right? I just made some bad decisions like everybody else did, but you'll never hear them say this. You will never hear a narcissist say that they made bad decisions. They're incapable of having empathy. I can't stress this enough. They are missing the chromosome 8 gene, which is your empathetic gene. They don't have it. They're like soulless beings. And it's really scary when you actually have to understand that these are people that were closest to you, that they don't have a soul. They don't have a heart. They only care what people can give to them. My father did the same thing. He chose my brother-in-law over me. They both didn't call me. They didn't care where I was or if I was breathing or not. And what happens is God will bless that person now, but he will make sure you understand. Do not give these people anything when I bless you. Remember where they were when you were at your lowest. And I know it's going to hurt you, but I have to desensitize you and take you away from them so you're not used to being around them like you were. Because you have to love them from afar and you have to put boundaries up. You have to literally, no doubt, hear a genuine apology and for them to fess up for things that they did wrong before you can help them. And God wants you to understand this or he won't bless you. Because if you keep helping people who dropped you on your ass when you needed them the most, he will not give that to you. So there's people who are going through this right now. There are people who went through this as children, and there are people that are going to watch this video who are parents not realizing that they're doing this to their children. Here's the bottom line. Treat people the way you want to be treated. I cannot figure out what the problem is with this concept. Why people think that they deserve to be treated a certain way, but they can go and turn and treat someone completely opposite of how they're requesting to be treated. You don't get that. You don't get that. Empaths have been doing this for a long time. We've been people pleasing for a long time, and it's time that you put your boundaries up and say no. Start saying no. Even if it's your parents and your family, even if it's your children, your husband, your sister, your mother, your father, it doesn't matter who it is. You have to start saying no and not making yourself so available, because they do not appreciate it. People are only going to treat you the way you allow them to treat you, and that is a fact. You need to recognize your self-worth, which you probably haven't in a long time. I won't allow them to come back into my life without apologies and accountability. I took accountability for all the things in my life that happened, but you can't take all the accountability, because then what happens is they feel like they never did anything wrong. They have to learn the lessons through you. Do you understand that? You're going to be the karma for them. I had to actually say no to going back to work for my father because he never appreciated me while I was there. I helped him build this business for 27 years. I was a hand-nailing shingle roofer as a female. And I fell and got hurt, didn't even have health insurance. He never had insurance on me in 27 years, but my sister went to college and had health insurance. You see how this goes? And they don't ever think something's wrong with that. I have so many ailments from falling and getting hurt from that job and just having to deal with it, take it on the chin and brush it off. But nobody ever recognizes that. It's always, well, Teresa's tough. She's a roofer. She's never hurting inside. She doesn't need anybody to talk to because she's tough. She's a roofer. That's not true. Don't read a book by its cover. Don't judge it. Don't just assume because somebody has a tough job that they don't ever need you to say, hey, let's sit back and talk. Is everything okay? What can I do for you? Or maybe you just need somebody to listen. We all think that we know everything, and most of us don't know shit, and just because they're your parents, we're this belief system of that they know right, they know best. That is not true. That is not true. I'm living evidence of it, that I had to distance myself from them in order to get sober. And now they don't really want nothing to do with me because they know that they can't deflect onto me anymore. They know this. And if they don't, you know now, because I'm sure eventually they're going to read this. You know now that you can't deflect on me. You need to stand up for yourself. You as the empath, you need to do this immediately. And if you're the parent doing this to your child, you need to think about how you're distributing this love between your children, because it's going to bite you in the ass when you get older. I promise you this. And I don't want to see people go through what I went through and what my parents are going through, because they're going through karma. I had to take a step back, because if you stay in their life while they're going through it, you will also receive that karma. This is why you couldn't get out of situations in your life and kept repeating the same cycles over again. You need to cut some of those cycles out in order for God to place you where he wants you, okay? So I love everybody. I hope this helps some people. I'm pretty sure it will. Like, subscribe, and share. And, just love yourself and know that you don't have to tell everybody your business. Your business is none of their business, and vice versa. You don't have to say yes every time somebody needs you and jump and stop what you're doing. Put yourself first, because people are going to treat you the way that you allow them to treat you, straight up. All right. Love you. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.